All right, let's bring in a member of the Select Committee on Intelligence, Democratic Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney of New York.
Thank you so much for being with us, Congressman. What can you tell us about Russia? What can you tell us about the investigations? What can you tell us about the intel reports that the White House has been getting for quite some time now? What can you tell us about what John Bolton told the president last year when the president learned in February of 2019 of this plan of Russia to have Americans killed by Islamic militants and profit off of it?
Well, obviously, you know the drill. I can't talk about the classified briefings I've had, but look, if you've read the New York Times, you've got enough to be pretty upset about. And these reports are deadly serious. And the only question I have really is, what are we doing about it? We can chase our tail all day long about what was in the presidential daily brief and what the president knew and when he knew it, and that's important. But right now, what are we doing about the fact that there are credible reports in the New York Times that the Russians are putting bounties on the heads of our troops? And the answer is nothing. And that should make everybody pretty angry this 4th of July.
Mike Barnicle, jump in.
So, Congressman, with regard to the Times reports and the Post reports, Washington Post reports, some of the best reporting I've seen in quite some time, you just said you find those reports credible, as most people do. My question to you is, have you got a sense of what your Republican colleagues on the Intelligence Committee or your Republican colleagues in the House, what's their sense of the Times and the Post reporting? Credible? Not credible? A hoax, as the President of the United States has claimed? Do you have any sense of what they're thinking?
Well, please bear in mind that the Republicans on the Intelligence Committee have literally been boycotting every meeting of the Intelligence Committee since impeachment. So during the pandemic, when we've all had to go down to the SCIF on our own and read reports and do these virtual roundtables and meetings, they have been absent. Yesterday was the first time they showed up, and they did so to minimize these allegations. And I think that's just so disappointing. I'm not saying that there aren't Republican voices out there, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Dan Crenshaw, and others, Mac Thornberry increasingly, maybe Mike McCall, who understand that if these reports are true, this is deadly serious. But I think if you look at the partisan folks, that people like Devin Nunes and others, they're following the White House lead. They want to minimize this and pretend it's not what it has been reported to be. But look, we can see this with our own eyes on the pages of the New York Times. And I do think right now, when the president is talking about withdrawing troops from Germany, when he's trying to get Russia back in the G8, which is an exclusive club, for those who don't know, of the world's largest economies. They were kicked out after they invaded Ukraine. It's a pretty basic question. Why the hell is the president of the United States puckering up to Putin when he ought to be sticking up for America?
Congressman, it's Susan Del Percio. We have seen, looking at these reports, they do seem credible. My question to you is, we know the president has chosen not to acknowledge it, but this intelligence comes from people on the ground. So what's happening there? Have they been told? Do we believe that they've just been told not to do anything? I mean, these commanders are responsible for men on the ground. They must be horrified by this. And to your point, what are we doing? What are they doing? And can they, on the ground level, do anything to protect our troops?
That is a great question, Susan. And intelligence is most useful for force protection, right? When you are in a theater of war, intelligence is critical to protecting your forces. Remember, we have drawn down to about 8,600 forces in Afghanistan, which makes us vulnerable because we have a smaller footprint. So it's really critical. Those are exactly the questions I've been asking. And I have confidence that the combatant commanders take this stuff seriously. And they need to get this information as quickly as possible. And I don't know fully the answer to your question, but we are drilling into that. And I do want people to know that combatant commanders don't mess around with this. They don't take the lives of their troops, as something they can play around with. Unfortunately, the commander in chief is out to lunch on this.
Member of the Select Committee on Intelligence, Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney, thank you very much for coming on the show. Happy 4th.
I think I have the bookcase. I think I have the bookcase Sam Stein wishes he had. Just want to say for the record.
All right. All right, we got it. Thank you. Still ahead, the forgotten victims of the coronavirus. NBC's Keir Simmons has remarkable new reporting on one country already dealing with a humanitarian crisis and civil war, and now facing the deadly pandemic.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.